Okay, so I have opened the folder in my terminal. So let's go to get started, installation, then npx. I'm going to be using npm. So npm init, then the project's name will be what? Tip calculator. So I have created the project, and I have opened it in my favorite text editor for now. So let's get started. Let's open up our terminal. And let's open up our browser. So let's see, npm run dev. While that is running, let's go through the Tailwind CSS documentation. How we'll install Tailwind CSS. So you can see Tailwind CLI. You can see this is the normal way you install in your normal HTML, CSS, and the likes. But we are using a framework here. So we go to framework guide, then we go to Nuxt. Then we have done this already. We are already in our projects folder. So the next is to run the installation. So let me create another terminal. Okay, like that. That run. It's basically doing both this and this together. So there's nothing too serious about that. Okay. So has run successfully. So let's load our page, our app on in our browser. See, here we are. Welcome to Nuxt. So next thing we're going to do is to start building our HTML. But before we do that, we'll have to convert. It's not compulsory, it's just a little tip. Let me create a new folder here and say pages. Right, then inside this folder I'm going to create a new file, index.vue, which will be our fourth page. Then we're going to do we'll come to our app.view. We'll change this to Nuxt page. That's, I think by now we should have, we're gonna have an error because we don't have any content in our page. So come to index, then we create a template tag, elements, and why are you not written? Templates like that. Then we can issue to refresh. So but then we will be using our Nuxt page. So next is with our tailwind installation. So we'll go to our Nuxt.config.js. In our case, it's Nuxt.config.js. Right. Yes, that's right. Our tailwind CSS to look for particular folder and every file that is Vue.js, the tailwind CSS will be applied on those pages. So do that in tailwind CSS in our content. Tailwind.config.js. And the next is we'll create a CSS file, right? It says there to create main.css, but I'm stubborn. I'm just gonna create a new folder and say assets CSS. Then I'm gonna create a new file app.css. And then app.css, I gonna add this. Then I'm gonna come to our Nuxt config, say CSS. Then we'll use this sign just, no, I can't remember the name of the sign actually. Just before number one, the one key, your keyboard, then was, sorry, like this, then assets /css /app.css. Let's check it if we got that right. Okay, yes, good. Then we run npm run dev, which we did already, so we're live. So let's test our tailwind CSS. Let's just run this guy here, and in our index.view, let's paste this guy here. Then let's see if that works. Yeah, that works. So now the next thing for us to do is to start building out our input form. So I'm going to remove all of this. Then I'm going to say I'm going to create a div, right? Then my div, I'm going to say class flex row justify center, right? So we'll have our form at the center. Then we're going to have width to be, let's say, oh sorry, class width to be, say, 550 pixels, bg gray 300, rounded excel to have what's it called around it, border radius, then p10, then empty what, then empty 20, like that. So instead of doing this all over, so I'm just going to copy and bring the form here. So let's make copy and bring it here. There. So now, yeah, we're having a lot of errors, undefined something like that, bill amount, percentage, and all that. So let's go to scripts, create our script tag. Exactly. So we're going to be using the options API. Simply see. Then we're going to create some variables, right? We're going to create some variables. We'll say export defaults data. So our variables will be inside our data method here. We can say we can now create for bill amounts. Oh, sorry. That's supposed to be a map. Next is what? Tip percentage, which is 0 by default also. Next, we're going to create tip amount, which is 0 also. Then we're going to create total bill, 0 also. Next, we're creating number of persons. Means, let's say we want to split our bill among different people. I think the minimum for this should be 1, right? Then you see tip per, sorry, per person. 0, then total per person. And we'll have that. So now we should have less errors here. Okay, total per person, like that. So let me, okay, number of persons, right? Then what again? Calculate it. That's on key. Oh, okay, great. Now what we just did is in VueJS, if you want to reference the value that comes from an input field, we use the v model directive. It's called the directive, right? So now normally in JavaScript we do something like, let's say, an ID, then we set, then we say you see documents dot get element by ID, then let me say bill amount, for example, dot what value. So this is how we get the value from an input field in core JavaScript. But with Vue.js, it's way simpler. What we have to do is just create a v model directive and set it to a variable, right? So let's do an experiment. Let me remove this for now, or let me just create the method. The method is not going to do anything for now. So how do you create a function in Vue.js? We do methods like this, then we say calculate tip. Now tip, that's then like that. So for now the function is not doing anything, so let's just leave it that way so that we won't have any error in compilation. So let's see. Yeah, this is what we have. Some of those designs. So let's touch the design a little bit, right? This guy here, border orange, I don't think the color is working the way it should, right? The value is changing obviously, but it's not showing. So let's just say text black, right? Yeah, and same thing for this text, what's black, and then let me reduce this to 100. So it makes more sense. Yeah, exactly. And then let me change this to say 300. Yeah, I think it makes more sense like this. So now let's do an experiment, right? I want to show what we have in our bill amount. So how do I output a variable inside of my HTML in Vue.js? It's just to say with the double curly bracket bill amount. So here we have this. So when I do this, it changes in real time. So automatically it fires the on key down, right? It fires the on key down the moment you moment the value changes, right? So that is all about that. So this it was the same method that we use here to get the percentage as it changes. I mean, the tip percentage and the number of words and the number of persons. You could see that here. This is the view model. This is it. Then this is the what? This is the variable. So what it does, it binds this variable to this what? To this input. That's what the view model is doing. It binds the variable we have here. So the value of this variable will be dependent on what? On what we have in this what? In this input. I think that is that about that. So now we want to do our calculation, right? We want to do our calculation now. So the first thing we want to do is let's get the tip amount. So let's say I want to reference the bill amount here, right? We want to calculate our tip amount. So the first thing we do, right, is this dot tip amount is equal to, now our tip amount will be the total bill plus the total what? Plus the total um the total tip. Oh, sorry. No, scratch that. Our tip amount is going to be a percentage of what? Our total bill, right? So say we have a bill to be 100 and we have our percentage to be what? 10%, right? So it's going to be multiplied by 10 over what? 100, which is um we are converting this guy to a decimal, right? So if I have like 120 here, it's gonna be 120 yeah, 120 times this is gonna give me 0.1, right? So the result here should be something like 12, right? Let's see 120 here. You can see our tip amount is what? Our tip amount is 12, although we are hard coding this here, so we're going to make it dynamic. So whatever it is I type here, I'll always get 12, right? So now let's make that dynamic. How do we get our bill amount? This should be our what? Our bill amount should be this dot what? Bill amount, right? Let's try that. Let's see. Now it's calculating 10%, right? Which is what we have here. So what we do here is say this dot what? Tip percentage. Now it's dynamic. Our tip percentage is at 0%, so we have nothing. But then let's increase this. Right. Oh, wait. Yes, right. We have, I don't know how much we have here though. Then we have 5%. So let me see. 100. Yes, we have 5. 1,000. We have what? $50. 10,000. We have $500 as what? As a tip. So let's go further. Let's calculate the total bill now. Our total bill will be this dot total. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? This dot total bill. Total bill is equal to the bill amount. That's amount we have inside this dot bill amount. The amount we have here and the results we got from tip percentage. So it's gonna be total bill plus what? The tip amount. So this is going to be plus what? This dot tip amount. Right now, in the JavaScript, this can start concatenation. Okay, let's see. Yes, right. Now, let's say our total bill is our bill amount is 5,000, right? And 5,000, and we have, let's see, 5%. So that is giving us $5,250 in total bill. Now, there's a typo here, tip per person. Wait, now we want to calculate, say, okay, we want to split this bill among so number of persons. The minimum number of persons you want to split with should be what? 1, right? So let's see, tip per number of persons. Where are you? Yeah, so we have the minimum to be 1, the maximum to be what? 20. Then we have what? 1 step each. We can go and if you don't know about the range input type, you can go on and read about it, right? So here we'll have this what tip per person. Tip per person is equal to the tip amount, right? Divided by is what number of persons. It should give us our what tip per person. So let's say we have 4 people on a date. Let's say it's a double date, right? Then we'll have 5%. Then the total, everything, the boat, drinks, food, and everything is $5,000, right? Now, the total bill is $5,250. The total tip is $250, and the tip per person is going to be what? 62.5 what dollars. Now, how much is each of them paying in total? That's if you're splitting the bills equally, right? So we say total per person is equal to this dot total bill divided by number of persons. Sorry, this dot number of persons, right? Now, yes, so I think this should be done. Now, let's say they spend $10,000 and they decide to give 5% tip, or let me say 7% tip. Now you're seeing this. I don't like to say this, right? You see this 0.00001. So we need to find a way to convert this guy to, let's say, 2 decimal places, right? So with that, we can wrap all of this in a parenthesis and say dot to fixed. So this will allow us set the number of decimal places we want, right? The same thing for, let's do that for all of them so that we won't have to check in and doing the same thing all over again. Right, so and the last one here, like that. So let's see now. Let's say $5,000. Okay, is there a bug somewhere? Let's refresh. I think there's a bug somewhere. So let's check. Bill is not a function. Okay, I think I understand what's going on here. This is on line what? Sorry. Inspect elements. Let me check that again. Console. Bill amount plus tip amount. Okay, great. I think the issue is data type. So what we're going to do is this. Let's convert this guy to float. Right. Pass floats is pass floats into this. So let's see. Yeah, that is solved. Tip amount. Let's see. Yeah, that is solved. Now the issue there was the total here is seen as a string, right? So we need to convert each of them to floats. We couldn't do int because the figure could be in decimal place, right? So now let's test this out. $10,000 is everything they spent, and they decide to do, let's say, 7%, right? And they are 6 people, right? So now the tip each of them is paying is $116.67, and the total that each of them is paying is $1,783.33.33. So yeah, that is the end of that. Is that so? If you need the code, I'm gonna push this to GitHub. Then the link will be in the description of the video, right? And that concludes the end of this little tutorial. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.